Next, we're going to talk about the fork pressure test. Spoons can be used, but they're not recommended for this. It's basically we're evaluating the firmness of the food by pushing on it. And there's a couple little subtleties to this. When we look at the fork pressure test on the next slide, you'll see that we need to make sure we have the right dimensions of the piece of food we're going to test. You're really looking for something that's close to being 15 by 15 milliliters, or not milliliters, centimeters. And that you're going to push on the bowl of the fork until till the thumbnail blanches. And that is a fairly consistent number throughout the world. When your fingernail blanches, it's at about 17 kilopascals, 15 kilopascals. And what you're looking for, did the sample squash, did it break apart, did it change shape permanently and not return to its original shape? So these should be easy to squash, and the idea behind this is we're testing to make sure that something can be broken down easily by the tongue without chewing. IDDSI did come out with a clarification of this, which I'm showing you on the next slide, and that is where you use a balance. So you don't have to rely on watching when your thumbnail blanches and turns white. You can check to make sure that there's 390 grams of pressure. This relies on you making sure that you have a three-dimensional piece that's really 15 by 15 by 15 when you're going to push it that way, because that when you do the calculations on the volume and things like that, which is something that an engineer like myself does, you'll see that it matches up to 15 kilopascals. And I wanted to show you on the next slide, this is something called the IOP test, and it's where you put a little bulb in your mouth and it measures the pressure as people swallow. What it's showing here is that somebody's pushing on the bulb and that their thumbnail has blanched white at 17 kilopascals, and that's the same force you use to squish a banana or something like that with this test. And that matches up to the average palate pressure on a human, which is between about 15 and 20 kilopascals. So the idea here is that there's a physiological tie between the testing method we're doing to show you that when you push with that amount of force with the tongue, you should be able to break something apart. And that's what's going on in people.